Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dami and I am a faith-based content creator, and if you're new here, you've never seen my face before, then welcome. I'm so glad that you are here and so glad that you've tuned in to our cozy fall dorm tour video. I'm super excited to show y'all my space, my absolutely cherished dorm where I spend most of my time, and especially with the weather finally cooling down, it's finally fall. I feel like it's just making my dorm even more cozy, and it's even harder to leave now, to do the things I gotta do when I gotta go to class and all of that. But that's a story for another day. But again, I am super happy that you are here. And if you are new to this channel, this platform is just a space where we encourage each other and we do all things Jesus over here, okay? But to quickly give you guys some context about me and just my life here at school, because obviously I am in college. I currently go to UGA, go Dogs, and I'm a third year here. I'm double majoring in philosophy and international affairs. I also have a women's studies minor and an African studies certificate, so doing a lot in school. I'm literally always busy, which is another reason why I do appreciate my room so much. I appreciate the space that God has given me to just kind of unplug from the life that I live here on campus, in between classes and everything I'm doing with the clubs and even working. Y'all, it gets to be a lot, so I definitely value my solitude, my safe space, especially, with the privilege that God has given me to be able to live alone. Because if you know anything about on-campus housing, especially at UGA, everything is super competitive here for no reason, including the ability to just get a space, to live on campus, let alone your own room. So when I say God came through, God came through, and I am so grateful. But yeah, y'all, I'm gonna show y'all my space. I'm gonna show y'all how I have set everything up to my liking and how everything is just kind of fitting the aesthetic that I was going for, which is very much minimalistic, simplistic, classy, clean girl vibes. So yeah, I hope you're ready. But side note, do y'all see my hair? Like come on, I have just been stepping more confidently into, the aesthetic I was telling you about my room. I feel like I'm stepping into this modest, clean girl vibe energy, and this bob has just been it for me, y'all. So I'm just loving it, and the balance and the shine. Yeah, your girl did it herself. But anyways, let me not get distracted. Let's start this dorm tour and let me show y'all around. All right, y'all, so I might end up turning on the light because it is a little dark. The sun is setting, it's evening time, and I usually keep the light off in my room, but just to make sure y'all can see, I might turn the light on. But I'll actually start with the view that you get when you first walk into my room, and that's with the door. So you walk in and you immediately see my room. This is what it looks like as a full view. So to first start in this corner, this is where I keep all my jackets, my sweaters and stuff. During the summertime, I usually just leave maybe a few sweaters that I might wear throughout the day when it gets a little chillier. But since it's usually hot, I don't have majority of these sweaters and cardigans here. But y'all, it is that time of year, and I am so happy because I love just being able to throw a good sweater on and keep it pushing, okay? But ignore the fact that this is messy, but I know some people might not think it's messy, but to me, this is a disaster because I would have had this color coded. It would have just been down to a T. And even with the hangers, how they look right now, it's actually bothering me so much. But I've just been so busy this week. It's Thursday when I'm filming this, and I brought all my sweaters and stuff back from home this past weekend on Sunday, and I just haven't had the time yet to sit down and color code this and just sort this out the way I would want it. But y'all are just getting an authentic tour, okay? So don't judge me. But yeah, this is what my sweaters and stuff look like. But moving on is my shoes. As you can see, I have quite a few shoes here, with me. I have a lot of shoes, and please learn from me, y'all. If you're not gonna wear them, don't buy them, because I can't even tell you how much money I have literally wasted on shoes. And this was when I was in high school. So I mean, it's been quite a few years since I've really invested heavy on shoes. But I will say these pair of sneakers, these P6000s, are the newest pair of shoes that I have, just because I thought these were so cute, and I actually do wear them. So other than that, I really don't buy shoes anymore because I have way too many. But my go-to shoes, y'all, well, these are my gym shoes. These are my go-to shoes for the gym. As you can see, they are really beat up. There's a hole right there in the front, but clearly I wear these shoes. So, but my go-to shoes, and this might be a hot take, but it's actually my UGG slides, or these Tasman slippers. They're just super comfortable, and I actually love the brown pair more than I do the black pair. But yeah, I'm very basic with my shoes, and I actually do love these Sambas as well. I bought these in South Africa when I studied abroad. But moving on really quickly, I have a few purses right here, just a few purses that I could wear, if I'm going out, if I have a few errands to run. And this is usually the one I wear the most, just because most of the time I just have my keys with me. I'm not really taking anything serious. But if I'm going somewhere and I want to have my water bottle with me, I usually take this purse. But I also do have another purse right here on my clothing rack. It's just hanging up on the side, just for aesthetic reasons. I feel like it looked better right there. But yeah, moving on, this is my toiletry area, or one of them. As you can see, I have some Q-tips in here, and I actually love this container so much just because I feel like it helps me, you know, organize all the stuff that I have. But yeah, I have my little cotton swab thingies that I use to take my makeup off in there. I got my face shavers because I do shave my face consistently. That's just something I prioritize. And as you can see, one thing I do not play about is Aquaphor, okay? One thing I can never do is leave the house with chapped lips or just go about my day having to lick my lips, y'all. That was something I struggled with so badly when I was little. And I'm basically traumatized from all the times I've had to lick my lips so much to the point where I started forming like a ring around my mouth. It was just a horrible experience. And I swore to myself that would never happen again. So y'all, I love Aquaphor, and it's just so good for your lips too. So smooth. And yeah, I just make sure to have some with me everywhere I go. And I do lose these very often. I've been better about it recently, but yeah, that's why you see so many there. But yeah, I have the bigger container there too. And just like my supplements, all I take is fish oil, vitamin C, because I cannot afford to be getting sick, but I also do take iron supplements because I am anemic, and then just some biotin just for like hair and nail kind of growth. But all my lotions, my moisturizers, and then just on the second pillar is just like refills. You can see I have a whole bunch of deodorants there for whenever I run out. And then on the bottom pillar, it's mainly just like cleaning supplies kind of thing. So nothing crazy. And I try to be intentional with just making sure I keep all of the things that need to be together, you know, where I don't have stuff just kind of scattered everywhere, which is why I really do like having all my toiletries in one area. But yeah, moving on, the next thing you see in my room is this little staircase thing, and it's actually drawers, and I'm gonna show y'all what's in each drawer. But yeah, I love this staircase so much because these ladder things to get on the bunk beds, it's actually so painful to step on these. So I am so grateful that I live in one of the dorms that have the, you know, staircase that come with it. But yeah, to show y'all what are in the drawers, in the top drawer is just really my shirts and like my tops and stuff. I do have like a mix of short and long sleeve shirts. I did keep some of the short sleeves here just because, you know, I can still use them if I just throw a jacket or something over it, or sometimes when I'm chilling in my room, I do get a little warm. So yeah, I just have all my clothes folded in there. But in the second drawer down here, it's mainly like my bottoms in here, but I also do have some of my winter stuff like my gloves, my hats, and my headbands in here that I just kind of keep together just because I really didn't know where else to put them. But yeah, I just keep mostly my bottoms in here. I think there's a few like polos and stuff, but yeah, that's pretty much it in there. And then in the bottom one is just my kitchen supplies and all the cooking stuff I do, because y'all know I be in the kitchen meal prepping, and I also don't have a meal plan, so cooking is the only way I survive. So yeah, just make sure I have all my kitchen stuff with me. And y'all know I love baking, so I have all my baking stuff on this side, and then on this side it's mostly just my pots, pans, and all my measuring cups and stuff. But yeah, y'all, that's what's in these three drawers. But moving on is my little dorm couch. Y'all, I adore this couch so much. It's actually really funny because my parents hate this couch. They think it's so uncomfortable, but y'all, I be falling asleep on here. I be doing work on here. I just be chillaxing. This is literally my favorite couch, my favorite place in my room. And I just love the color of it. I love the throw pillows that I was able to find. I think I found them off of Walmart, and then I had to buy the stuffing separately for the pillows. But yeah, I love this couch so much. It's so cute, and it fits perfectly in my dorm as well. But yeah, then there's my fridge, my mini fridge. And if you know, you know. Look at my little fridge magnets. They're so cute. Y'all, I love The Office so much. So when I found these, I think I found them from Five Below. I was so happy, and I love that they kind of matched the vibe of the room, you know, kind of the minimalistic vibe that I was going for. So it was just the perfect addition. I had to get them. But if you also love The Office, definitely comment down below and let me know who your favorite character is. And even better, let me know what your favorite intro is. I could definitely tell you mine. It was when Kevin had the chili and he spilled the chili on the floor. I'll probably drop like a clip or something in here for reference, because some of y'all are probably confused. Like, what is she talking about?
The trick is to undercook the onion. Everybody is going to get to know each other in the pot. I'm serious about this stuff. I'm up the night before, pressing garlic and dicing whole tomatoes.
But y'all, Kevin is so funny to me. Like, I love that show, but let me stop getting off track. On top of my mini fridge is just my microwave. And then on top of my microwave is where I kind of keep all my dirty dishes before I wash them at the end of the day. And I also love that it's small enough to pretty much only hold enough dishes for one day. So I couldn't even get lazy even if I wanted to, because as you can see, it's pretty full right now and I still have one more meal to eat. But yeah, it holds me accountable, and I just feel like it works well with not having my dishes out and not having to wash them after every meal, because because sometimes I am eating right before classes, so I don't really have time to wash them until the end of the day, and that works well for me. But yeah, guys, in this little corner, I don't know if you can see it, I have my little yoga mat that I be using to do my at-home Pilates and core workouts. I also have my little Aldi bags for when I go grocery shopping or when I have to kind of like haul my dishes or my cooking stuff down to the kitchen to cook. But yeah, these things I just kind of tuck away just because they don't really match the vibe and they don't really need to be out anyways. But moving on is the little light slash lamp that I have in my room, and I love this light so much just because it has 3 modes, and I've actually used it to condition myself, where I use the warm light for when I'm like getting ready to wind down, you know, go to bed. The warm light is softer to me, so I feel like it's better for my nighttime unwinding kind of vibe. So it definitely does help when I turn this on, but most of the time it is on the, you know, harsher light or the white light until it is time for bed. But next up is my beautiful curtains, guys. I love these curtains so much. They were the perfect find for my room, and it's actually 2 curtains if you can't tell, but I kind of line them up to where the white one is on the inside, so sometimes I don't necessarily want to be blocking out all the light, so I have that one on the inside. But then I have these gray blackout curtains, and y'all, they be doing the job. I remember when I first got these, oh my goodness, when it was time for me to wake up, I didn't even know where I was because I was that deep in sleep. It was literally like an outer body experience. But anyways, moving on, I have my little desk set up right here where I get my work done, where, you know, the productivity happens. But over here I have my little flower vase, and I've been obsessed with these flowers for literally the entire semester. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but I do get them from Kroger, and they're just so pretty. I feel like they match the vibe of the room that I'm kind of going for, and yeah, they just work well for me. But I think my favorite flowers really are roses, but just for the sake of aesthetic, I do tend to go with these flowers every time. But yeah, this is my little MacBook, my favorite computer. This is the holy grail right here, y'all. This MacBook be doing everything for me, from school, from editing. I do everything on this MacBook. But then I have my little iPad mini down here. I don't really use it as much as I used to, but I still use it for like my online classes, but not as frequently as I've used it in the past. But then my phone is right here. Let me move that out the way. But I got my little planner here, and I usually just use my planner for like academic and work related stuff that I have to do. So that's kind of helpful. But yeah, I got my pens over here, and this thing in the middle is just an eraser for my whiteboard, which I'll show y'all in a second. But kind of going for the simplistic vibe even with the pens, because I didn't want to get colorful pens. It's not that I don't have them, I just have them tucked away because, you know, I'm going for something specific in my room, which I'm sure you have picked up on by now. But yeah, moving on is my makeup. Y'all, when I tell you times have changed, I was never a makeup girly. You could not pay me to wear makeup. And honestly, even now, like, I don't wear a lot of makeup. I don't wear it frequently just because I do appreciate my natural beauty. I feel like I've been very blessed by the Lord to have a face that I absolutely love, you know, without makeup. But, you know, just to enhance some features from time to time, which is kind of my view on makeup, just something I may use out of choice, because the second I see myself starting to get dependent on it, you know, starting to feel insecure if I don't have concealer under my eyes or something, then it's a wrap and we're going back to a bare face. But yeah, guys, this is just where I keep the makeup. And just to kind of walk you through a few of my products that I use consistently, I would probably say I use this Maybelline eraser, like concealer kind of thing, under my eyes very frequently. This is like my go-to and easiest makeup thing. I don't know the lingo, y'all, so just bear with me. But something else I use is just powder, where I will conceal my eyes with that eraser thing, and then I might just throw some powder on after it just to give it more of a cleaner look. But yeah, I use the Fit Me press powder, and as you can see, I don't really have expensive products just because I really don't feel like I need to break the bank on makeup. I just be looking for coverage that is good enough for me, and yeah, these products work good enough. But yeah, here are all my brushes and stuff. Something else I might use is just this lipstick thing from NYX, this like butter gloss. I love this so much. But I will say I did just go to Ulta last weekend, and I found some new products. It was from Serena Williams' makeup line. It's called Win, I think, and she's going out of business, unfortunately, or that's what I believe, because everything was on sale. I think it was like 75% off. So of course, you know, I took advantage of that sale. But I will say her products were really good, so I've already had some things shipped to my house. But yeah, y'all, that's where my makeup is. Then we have my full body mirror over here, and y'all, I love this mirror so much. This is probably my favorite thing in my entire room. Y'all, it literally took 3 tries to get this mirror in my room. I kid you not, because every time they kept shipping it, it kept breaking, it kept cracking or something. Everything just kept going wrong with it. So eventually I was able to get it in here, and now I love this mirror. I feel like because it is slanted though, it is hard to like take a lot of full body mirror pictures just because like the angle is weird, but at least I'm able to have it and to see my outfits and whatnot. And speaking of outfits, what I'm wearing right now is actually a sweater that I thrifted from Plato's literally this weekend. And if you aren't already shopping secondhand, you know, you aren't thrifting some of your clothes, and please let me put you on, because I bought this for $8, y'all. And if you see the quality of this, like, it's really thick actually. And I know if I bought this full price, it would probably be like 30 plus. plus, but to find this for $8, like, come on. You know I love a good deal. But the pants are from Shein. They're just these regular sweatpants, and I love that they go all the way down, because me being 5'11", it is hard to find pants that go all the way down, let alone sweatpants. So yeah, that is the outfit. But moving on, I have my little clock up here, and if it looks a little dim or hard to read, one of my features that I love that comes with this clock is that after a specific time, and I think it's 6 o'clock, it'll just turn down on its own. And I love that because, you know, I don't want the bright clock shining in my eyes when it's actually time to go to sleep. But yeah, I have all my perfumes and like my fancy lotions in here and stuff. Mostly these are things I've already had. I honestly don't buy any more perfume just because, again, I have so much and I feel like I use the same 2 scents. My go-to ones are definitely Nude by Rihanna. Y'all, I love this scent so much, and I actually found it when I was little, and it's just been my signature scent ever since. But I also love this fragrance from, I think it's Bath and Body Works. You can't even see the name anymore. And that just goes to show how long I've had it, but it smells really good. It smells really clean, so I love that. Other than that, I don't think I really use the other fragrances as often. But in here is my glass plates and stuff, and yeah, I do have a few dishes out. Like I told you, I've eaten today, so a few of them are missing because I usually have 4 of these little glass bowls and some of the flat plates that you see down here. But I just love keeping all my glass bowls together and also being able to kind of peek at them. I feel like it gives the room a clean aesthetic, you know, a clean vibe. But some of y'all probably saw this like wine glass back here and be like, oh my gosh, you drink? You're only 20 years old. Why do you have a wine glass? I'm glad you asked. Actually, I don't drink, okay? I like making mocktails and fancy drinks and, you know, drinking them out of a wine glass just to give that fancy effect. I just kind of love that aesthetic, even though I'm not drinking. And it's not to pretend I have a drink or something. It is just something I like doing, you know, it's something I feel comfortable with. But yeah, that's just something I do or something I value. But down here, I have my little smoothie maker, my little blender that I use for like all my protein smoothies and stuff. And then I have my iron in here as well, but nothing major. And this one, I have some of my dry foods. You know, it's kind of like my little pantry. Well, one of them, because I also have another one under my bed, which is even bigger. But I just keep some of my snacks. And as you can see, I'm not a big snacker. All I have is like some granola. I have some cashews in here, some chickpea flour for a face mask that I use, and some gum. But these skinny bagels, y'all, oh my goodness, I love them so much. But yeah, nothing really major in here though. It's just food. So here's my TV, and it's a 32-inch TV, and I was super grateful that it literally fit perfectly on the shelf I ended up getting. And I didn't even measure this out before I bought the shelf, but it did end up fitting, so I was super happy. But in these little shelves, I just have like miscellaneous things, mainly things with like electronics. Like I have a few screen protectors here for my phones, and like I was telling y'all, I do have like colorful pens and stuff and like highlighters, and these are actually the dry erase markers that I use for my dry erase board. But since I am going for a minimalistic vibe in my room, I just kind of tuck these away, you know, just kind of keep them in a cubicle where it's not really distracting and taking away from the vibes that I'm going for. But yeah, just nothing major in here, just kind of like phone cases. This is like my camera case, and yeah, and then in here it's the same as well. I just have like a bunch of extra chargers and stuff that I use. Just my camera pouch, I have a speaker, and my Polaroid camera is down there as well. So just like electronics and just miscellaneous things. But down here, y'all, this is my cherished area. All my books, these are my babies. A lot of these books are things I've already read. There are a few I'm still trying to get to, you know, just like this one. This is called The Pursuit of Holiness. I've heard great things about this book, so that is my next read. But this is also one I haven't read, which is The Circle Maker, another spiritual book that I'm trying to get some wisdom from. And then this is one more that I actually haven't read yet, and I just bought this one. It says, Why Do I Do What I Do Not Want to Do? And y'all know I got my struggles, so I bought that book for a reason. But I'll definitely let y'all know what I think about them. But yeah, a lot of these are my cherished babies. Like I said, like a lot of these philosophical books are things I've read through classes or just things that I was interested in. But I've also seen just how God has honestly just been changing me and helping me grow in a lot of areas where I do tend to read more spiritual books now than philosophical books, just because I feel like with the things I'm most curious about and the type of wisdom that I'm after these days is just everything pertaining to the Lord. Even when I have that choice, I'm always going to choose like a spiritual book. Like one of the books I actually just finished reading, and it was so good, y'all, was Gay Girl Good God by Jackie Hill Perry. 10 out of 10, y'all. This book was so good. I loved it so much. And obviously I've been very transparent about my struggles, you know, just with homosexuality, trying to get some guidance as I have finally stepped out of that lifestyle and into God's purpose, into God's calling for me. And, you know, it's just really nice to be able to find books that I can resonate with, you know, from people I respect, people who have similar stories to me and whatnot. So Jackie Hill Perry is amazing. But yeah, guys, I can literally ramble all day about my books because it just makes me so happy just looking back at my bookshelf and realizing God is really changing me. Like, you know, all the books I have kind of go to show for that, you know, where I spend most of my time. But yeah, guys, let me stop talking about my books. But one thing I did want to show y'all was our baby picture. So if you didn't already know, I do have 2 sisters and I am the middle child. Can y'all guess which one is is me. Well, I think I kind of gave it away when I said middle child, but yes, I am the one in the middle. Of course, I'm eating, you know, I'm chewing on something because, you know, been a foodie since day one. But yeah, this is me and my two beautiful sisters. This is my little sister, actually, and then this is my older sister, but I love them to death, and I just feel like having this frame in my room just kind of reminds me of them because I love them so much. They are literally my other halves. But so over here, I just have some paper towel, and then this is actually my facial fridge. And as y'all can see, I actually broke this. I dropped it a while back when I was moving out, and y'all, I got the worst cut on my hand when I dropped it, but thank God it's healed now. But yeah, it is a little like crooked, kind of slanted, but I mean, it still does close, so like I'm not mad at it. But yeah, I just have like my few like moisturizers and face creams in here, and this is my black castor oil, you know, that I be using for my eyebrows, that I be using for my lashes. If you're wondering how I've been growing out my eyebrows and my lashes, yeah, it's black castor oil. It's so good. But yeah, just a few of my nighttime moisturizers as well. This is almost empty because I use it all the time, but this is just my Panoxyl moisturizer. This is probably the one I use the most, but I've also been using this Derma Scar Cream. I can't really say that it's been working because I've also been using a turmeric face mask that I feel like has helped lighten my skin. So if you're interested in new products, maybe check that out, but not endorsed, not sponsored. But anyways, down here is a little shelf that actually slides out, which I do use from time to time, like when I'm meal prepping or getting ready to just prep all my foods to go downstairs. So I think that's just extra storage space or extra shelf space. In here is like my little pantry 2.0 where I keep like my silverwares. I keep my, you see lots of cans of tuna, but I also have like my bigger silverwares, you know, that I use for cooking. And yeah, I mean, it all fits perfectly. I never really have problems with storage, so grateful for that. But down here, this is just another food storage place. I have some oatmeal down here because I be eating a whole bunch of oatmeal, y'all. You know, you need that fiber. But then I have some vegetable oil, which I actually don't use anymore. So I don't know why I still have this, but it's there for baking purposes. But I have some flour because I do bake a lot. And then I got some olive oil, which is what I do use most of the time. And then yeah, just a few other spices. Y'all know I'll be making that teriyaki chicken. And if you're interested on like how I meal prep and stuff, definitely check out my meal prep with me video because I posted that not too long ago. But yeah, these are some of the ingredients that I use for that, like soy sauce and just a few other cooking stuff in there. But yeah, now time for another favorite part in my room. This is like my wardrobe layout where I have literally all of my athletic clothes that I wear. I keep them in this black 5 kind of cubicle thing. I don't really know what to call that, so that's just what we're gonna call that. But I also keep all of my denim over here. So I have like my jean skirts, my jean pants, you know, all of that good stuff over here. But yeah, I do try to keep it as layered as possible because as y'all can see, I pay attention to detail, okay? And little things like this really does freak me out. So, but yeah, I have a few of my sweatpants. Y'all know I keep some other sweatpants in the drawer, but I do keep some out just for like aesthetic purposes. And also these are my go-to sweatpants. Like I wear these very often. It's just easier to be able to just pull it out right here versus having to like get it out from the drawer. But then down here is where I keep some of my leggings, my yoga pants, my flared yoga pants, all of that good stuff is usually down below in this area. But in the bottom right underneath it is just where I keep washcloths and just extra towels and stuff. So nothing super crazy down there. But moving on to like my workout clothes, let me give y'all a quick haul. So these are where I keep all of my gym shorts just folded up nicely. Right underneath that is my shirts, you know, my gym shirts that I be wearing. I kind of keep all of that stacked away right here. But after you get past the first two, you know, pillars, or I don't even know what to call these, y'all, like cubicles, whatever. Like after you get past my shorts and you get past my shirts, everything else is honestly fair game because I just have so many clothes and I really didn't know how to organize it because I have some shirts in here. I also have some shorts in here. Once again, like I said, I didn't really know how to keep them. It's just so many things. And I'm just like, you know, at this point, we're just going to fold it and we're just going to put them all in here. You know, at least I know they're workout clothes, but a lot of these are just like half shirts and, you know, things that I, to be honest, don't even wear anymore. You know, the Lord has convicted me about modesty. If you didn't see that, I just dropped a modesty video. Y'all, I've come a long way and I just feel way more comfortable being just fully covered up, you know, with my bottoms. But yeah, over here, I have like my little hamper where I just put all my dirty clothes and stuff. And I usually do laundry once a week and kind of similar to, you know, my dishes setup. I feel like having a smaller hamper keeps me accountable. It makes me do my laundry consistently, but I never really have a problem with it because I actually do enjoy doing chores, you know, and cleaning up. Cleaning is kind of like a therapeutic thing for me. So anyways, right above my laundry is just a few of my athletic jackets as well as just professional outfits. You know, it's always good to just make sure you have some business casual outfits, you know, for whatever events might be going on around campus. But yeah, that's where I kind of keep all of my business casual slash athletic jackets. But yeah, down here is where I keep my lovely keys every day. Like after I get back from class or whatever, I just throw my keys in here because y'all, I am very quick to lose these keys, which is another reason why you see an air tag on here because y'all, I've lost my keys before and I can never go through that again. But yeah, this is where I keep my keys. And in here is my glasses and just a few accessories that I have. And then in this second one is just where I keep like jewelry and stuff. And then the third one is just bobby pins and just a few other things I have in there. But yeah, I just have like miscellaneous stuff in here again. Like I told y'all, I have a Polaroid camera and I also have like a scrapbook for my Polaroid pictures. As you can see, these are just some of them that I took over the break, and I'm actually going to show y'all a few. So these are a few I took in Nigeria. This was one of our last days, you know, Nigeria. That's actually my dad right there, if you didn't know. And then this is one of my besties that I actually met in South Africa on my study abroad, and she's actually studying abroad right now, but she'll be back. I'm so excited for her to come back. But these are some more I took in Nigeria, just at my uncle's house, because I loved his aesthetic and just like his apartment. It was super nice, y'all. So, you know, we had to get the royalty kind of luxury kind of pictures going on there. But the last one I'll show y'all is my cousins and like just some family that I have in Nigeria that we took pictures with. But yeah, all my Polaroid pictures hold sentimental value to me, but I love taking pictures. But moving on with the dorm tour, this drawer is just where I keep like just handy dandy stuff, you know, whenever I'm needing to do things with my room. Like these are just little like door hanger thingies, but yeah, just like tools and supplies. It's just what I keep in there. And then just some more, see, this is just too full, but this is just like my hair stuff, like my hair nets and stuff and combs and things I use for, you know, wrapping my hair at night or just brushing my hair. But then in here I have my socks, in there I have my bras, and then in the bottom one I keep my pajama pants and just my PJs and stuff. But then we are back to the door, and I think I forgot to show y'all my bed too, so let me give y'all a quick tour of that. But this is the setup for my bed. I do make my bed every single morning. That's a non-negotiable. It's just my first win of the day, and it's also a good incentive for not getting in the bed. So yeah, this is just kind of the setup. As you can see, I'm going with the gray and white kind of vibe. I love this throw blanket so much. It's so soft. But over here too is just where I keep my water bottle. I feel like this is a perfect space for it. But then in here is where I keep my Bible. I also have like my little devotional notebook too that I just use to journal. But I just feel like this is a perfect place for my Bible, because right here by my bed, protecting myself at night, but also it's so easy to grab, you know, whether I'm sitting on my couch, whether I'm at my desk or in the bed, you know, it's so accessible, which is perfect, you know, having the Word of God next to me and so close to me. But in here is just my headscarves and just things I wrap my hair with at night. Then in here is just my little blessings in a box, and this is just my box of like cards and stuff that have great spiritual quotes that I'm able to just, you know, read every single day, and it kind of gives me direction for getting in the Word every day, you know, having an encouraging quote that I can use to kind of guide my day and guide my devotionals. But I love these cards. I love the spontaneousness of it too, you know, being able to kind of read a different part of the Bible every day and just get a different form of encouragement. But in here is where I keep my charger, my iPhone charger. The last thing I think is probably just my remote control for my TV on the side. But yeah, guys, that concludes the dorm tour. Y'all have seen the whole setup now, you know, the inner workings of my beautiful room. But yeah, guys, that is my cozy fall dorm tour, and I hope you were able to get some inspiration, you know, if you are going for that minimalistic vibe, because y'all, I be on Pinterest, and you know, the way I set my room up was definitely led by a lot of inspirations I saw on things like Pinterest and, you know, just my vibe and things I wanted for my room. But let me also quickly say, I know I have a lot of stuff. I know it looks all neat and stuff, but at the end of the day, it took a lot of waiting on the Lord, you know, asking God for guidance, asking God for direction, because as y'all can see, I am very detailed with how I like my stuff. So, you know, moving back in and having my room set up the way I wanted, it was a very stressful process for me, and it took a lot of patience. It took a lot of me surrendering control and accepting the reality that everything wasn't going to be perfect in the first try or like the first day. So it definitely took a lot of patience, you know, and a lot of resilience. So if you're also someone who's maybe in college, maybe you're getting your first apartment soon, maybe you're going to college soon, whatever the case is, or wherever you are in your journey, you know, trying to revamp your aesthetic and revamp your safe space, just be patient with yourself, you know, and enjoy and embrace the journey, because it's such a beautiful thing if you don't let yourself become super stressed out and you don't let yourself over obsess over the things you can't control. So yeah, just enjoy the journey and, you know, be grateful that God has given you a space that you can create, you know, you can call your own. But yeah, once again, all glory to God for giving me such a space that I can cherish, that I can be able to use to inspire other people, you know, other women who are trying to figure out how to, first of all, get comfortable on their own, you know, because with you having your own room, with you having your own space, that means a lot of opportunities for alone time, you know, to enjoy your solitude and enjoy your journey with the Lord. But I love y'all so much, and I am praying for you guys always, and I will see y'all in the next video.